My people, what's up? We back on the third eye review on this beautiful Easter Sunday. Weather's getting warmer. That means, we just get out and do more things, get more times in the movie. Caught 3 movies this week, so we're gonna explore those movies. I caught the Super Mario Brothers. I caught the Dungeons and Dragons Honor of Thieves, and I caught the new Air movie done by Ben Affleck, and it was great. So we're gonna talk about that, break those down, and I'm gonna kick it off with the John Wick 4 review that I caught, I think like a week and a half ago, that I haven't talked about yet because the last podcast was talking about John Wick's 1 and 3, and hopefully everyone got time to go catch the awesome 4th movie so we can break it down now in the third eye review. But yeah, it's springtime, baby. We get rolling around the mics here, doors up at the barn, so make sure you tune into the barn where this podcast drops, and make sure you subscribe for all your podcast needs, from Birds and Swords to the Vulgar Display podcast, and a lot more coming out the barn. Knuckleball Primetime, we covered the Masters this week with golf, so yeah, get anything from the barn that you need, all the way from sports all the way to your movies, and let's get it started, baby. Yeah, last week, I think it was like a week and a half ago, I caught the John Wick, so it had to be 2 weeks. I caught the John Wick the Friday after it came out. And man, it was a great film. I was getting a lot of early reviews on it and how it was good and stuff. So I really took some time to run back to the first 3 films. Out of the first 3 films, I like the second the most. It's like it was the most getting to the point with the John Wicks and just the badass killing scene. Like, I feel like with the first 3 films, like, we really didn't want to see a lot of John talking, and that's what this film is, just straight to the edge, action packed. Great choreography with the fighting scenes and stuff. So, the John Wick film was done great. In the 4th film, John, he comes back and he still has that bounty on his head as it keeps growing throughout this movie with one of the guys at the high table named Marcus, and he just really doesn't understand that the wits that John Wick has, and he just wants them off the table. So he keeps up in the bounty behind the tables back, trying to get John Wick off the map with guys in his back pocket that come to the table like Kane, and other guys off the map that just are worried about the bounty, like the tracker and stuff. So there's guys within the hunting down John Wick that are not at his level, but kind of can give him a problem. And John Wick has some roadblocks in between, like getting to the high table for the match off with Kane towards the end of the movie that you'll get to break down once you go see the movie. I'm not trying to spoil it, so I'm kind of trying to give like a descriptive review. But yeah, you get 2 hours of just action-packed John Wick beating ass, and he has to go succeed this mission of with Winston and Kane and Marcus at the high table to kind of just have like a battle royale, like Clash of the Duels type. So if they sit down with the table and they decide how it's supposed to be Marcus and John, how they're going to decide, like how they're going to battle to see who stays on the high table or whatever. And if John wins, he's like washed of all his dues and his bounty and stuff. So they end up having a meeting and what they're going to do to battle. But Marcus ends up putting up Kane to fight for him because Marcus, he really didn't have a chance against John Wick. So Kane is just a pure killer. And yeah, it's just really done well with John Wick. And as it closes out and stuff and the John Wick comes to the end, it's done really well with the 4th movie. So I'm not going to give a lot away, but that should give you a good description on just to go see the movie because it's action-packed. There's not a lot of words, but it's a great storytelling to close the John Wick. And if you've watched the series, you'll understand the closure. So I thought the John Wick was done very well. So, but this week, caught a lot of movies. April, man, they're coming hard with the movies. Kicked it off with the Mario this weekend. Dungeons and Dragons that had an early Rotten Tomatoes score of 100%. I think that was because the true Dungeons and Dragons fans that were ready to see the movie and stuff, I could see them being really excited about this movie. And I was more here for the visual. We'll start with that one too. We'll start with Dungeons and Dragons. So I seen that Friday night, went to a double feature. It was a good night to be at the movies. I really thought. Warm, didn't want to be in the house, so I was like, man, let's go see Air and let's go see Dungeons and Dragons tonight. So I made that happen. Capped it off with Dungeons and Dragons. So it was kind of a slow movie dragging in because you have to bring the characters into it and like why the story matters and kind of just its own spin outside of the game into the movie. So within the first 30 to 45 minutes, I kind of got that, and it was getting good and stuff. But like I said with this movie, I was more here for the visuals and the storytelling. So I really could have cared less for the first half of the movie, but I got it to understand like the characters and their powers and what they do and how they had to gather the thieves to go conquer the quest. So I definitely get that point in the movie. Once it gets to the part of them trying to break into the castle and take back the spell to get the life back, it actually starts getting kind of good. So they all team up and have different powers. Chris Pine, his character, he's kind of just a thief. So he's trying to get his daughter back, and he really is just the man of the mission, just trying to guide everyone, like, and tell them what to do to get the mission done. He really doesn't have any powers besides just setting things up and getting it done. So other than that, yeah, that movie was done well. The dragons brought in were really cool. Different animation with that. So that was the reason I was brought into this film. I was really there for the animations, and I thought they did well with that. But I thought it could have been less than 2.5 hours, but I get it with the first movie being in the project. So with the Dungeons and Dragons fans, I can see them bringing a second movie back because I'm sure the fans killed the box office with that. So I can definitely see them building towards the second movie as the story plot was building towards that. So it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a great movie. But yeah, I would go to the movies and see it for sure. But yeah, I think that's just one of the movies, like, we were looking at the trailers and stuff and expecting it to be a lot better than what it was, but it's just the first movie to a long movie series. So I definitely understand where they were going with Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among the Thieves for sure. So 3.5 out of 5 on my letterbox if you want to read more about that. But yeah, get out and go see that at the movies for sure. Now, the one I am really excited to talk about is the Super Mario. That was a time. It was just a good time. It already broke a lot of records in the box office, and I can see that coming because people my age, being 25, that was the game era, like the GameCube and stuff. So we were playing that, the Atari, the Sega, all that to build up to Mario, Super Mario Bros. Like in past Super Mario Bros. Like the GameCube, like damn, what's the game I'm thinking of? Fuck, Super Smash Bros. Like shit like that. So yeah, it was a really cool movie with Easter eggs like that. Mario was playing a game in his room with the system. It wasn't really a lot within the storyline of the movie for like us as avid movie watchers as adults now. So don't go to the film trying to look for that story within the plot because it's not for us. It's more for your 10-year-old son, your 9-year-old daughter. Get them, they know who Mario is, but try to get them like to visualize it and understand so they can want to go back home and want to play more Mario and stuff. I feel like that's why Illuminations brought this movie to life. So yeah, you get that. It starts off the movie with Mario and Luigi starting their plumber deal and stuff, running the commercial and stuff, and they don't really have a lot of money. Their dad really don't believe in the Mario brothers. Like, leave the bango. They don't believe in none of that. So they just want to do their own thing because they are great plumbers, and they get to a job that leads them down the pipe to where Miss Peach and stuff lives, and that's where the story kicks off. So it's just a good story. It's a good story to wrap kids into the Mario story. Like I said, it's not a movie that us as adults is going to rate 5 out of 5, but you can take your kids to the film and enjoy the movie at the same time. Like, I just took a couple blunts in. Me and my girlfriend, I had a good time. I wasn't sober. I really wasn't taking the film that seriously. I just wanted to go there and have a good time outside the house, and Mario delivered that for me for sure. So I would say, go have a beer or two, smoke whatever you do, and go see the Mario. That way you're going to enjoy it. And don't take it too seriously, man. Don't take it too seriously. It's a kid movie. It's not an adult movie. And if you do that, you'll like the movie a lot. I promise. Jack Black, he did great as the Bowser actor. Man, that was just one of the great performances. Chris Pratt, you really don't get anywhere. Like, you really can't. Like, you really don't get to that point where, like, man, he killed the Mario voice. He did just enough to, like, enjoy the movie. So all the cast did with the voice acting, but I would say Jack Black definitely stole the show within the cast of the group. Seth Rogen has a strong Donkey Kong role. He just played great within that mix of cast. And yeah, I think everyone did a good job to bring the Mario to life. So yeah, go out and see the Mario whenever you can. The Easter weekend was a great weekend to see. It's the opening weekend, but it will be out for a while. And it will crush the box office at the end of the month. I promise that. And last but not least, the best movie that I think was of the four, the new Air movie by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Ready to talk about that, man. That movie was good. It was extraordinarily good. When it first came out on the trailers and stuff, and I started seeing it, I was like, I really don't know. I think it's just gonna kind of be a cheap movie because I don't think Ben Affleck was trying to break a dollar to promote it because it was his movie, you know. I think it was more of just trusting himself that people were going to get out to see the movie, and I think that it did that. Let's check the results on the box office for the Air movie. But I think a lot of people would want to get out and see this movie, especially with it being the Good Will Hunting duo. We haven't had much from them in a while. So yeah, I think a lot of people went out to go see this. 20.2 million opening weekend reviews. So I would say that isn't terrible, and I feel like it's going to grow a lot. I wonder how much it costs to do the. Well, I think it made its money back for sure. Like I said, I think it was a film that didn't have to put a lot of money into because of the cast of the crew. Like, you got Chris Tucker, Matt Damon, a lot of good friends, so it probably didn't cost a lot to get them to cast the roles and stuff. Phil Knight and Sonny Vaccaro and all the other people. So I could definitely see that. But as a movie was, like I said, from the promoting standpoint, I don't think they had to do that because Affleck trusted himself for people to get out to the movies and watch it. So the base of the movie was around Sonny Vaccaro, Rob Strasser, and Phil Knight. These are all Nike executives that were in the 84 class. Phil Knight's obviously the CEO. Sonny Vaccaro, he's the guy that looks for athletes to sign to the brand. So Nike isn't really a popping company in 84 as Converse is popping, Adidas is popping. You know, Adidas has their track shoots. Converse has the real rubber sole shoe that all basketball players want to play in. Jordan was playing them at North Carolina, so everyone kind of thinks that Converse is the way. But Nike, they feel this is a year to change the thing. They can sign an athlete. So I like this movie because we understand the fact of a brand and what they look for. So like it resonates a lot to the podcast life and trying to do what you naturally enjoy to get brands to collect in your brand so you can build things farther up. And this movie made me understand that Nike needed Jordan more than Jordan needed Nike. So it was just like giving you the power to believe in yourself. Like, and if you want to get something done, to do that. Sonny Vaccaro, he saw all the things of Michael Jordan, but none of Nike did, and he just had to get them to believe. And it took, going to Jordan's house and talking to his mom in face, past a phone call. Because once you go give your true self to someone and what you want, that's more power than anything. Adidas wasn't pulling up to Jordan's house and talking. Converse wasn't. So when Sonny did that with Nike, that gave a different outlook to Jordan's mom, played by Viola Davis, which was a great role. And yeah, I think that putting her in the role of understanding like how to pursue young athletes' life in this movie was way bigger than putting Michael Jordan in the movie and trying to understand his base of signing the contract of a shoe, because it was Jordan himself as an athlete was already a brand at a young age, and Nike saw that, but his mother was not going to let Nike rip Jordan off to where Jordan would never be talked about like he is today, and we still wear his shoes every day of our lives. So that's where that film was taken off to. And the roles by Matt Damon playing Vaccaro, Phil Knight playing, Affleck playing Phil Knight, and Jason Bateman playing Rob Strasser, just really strong role. And you can tell them guys have like been built up they've been in the cinema world for a long time, because Affleck, like with not a lot of money, he can bring a great movie to the screen. And I feel like that's the biggest things with movie, a small message that has you leaving the movie with a big heart and wanting to do more. And this Air movie did all of that, man. Just creating a shoe, getting Jordan to trust Nike, the speech at the end to get Jordan to really understand. Like, we all know Jordan's going to sign with Nike. It's just more the story of why. and it brought me a great reason of understanding, and it got me like it got me to believe more in myself to just keep doing what I'm doing for things to fall align in my life that I want. So if you work hard, the great things will come. And that's what that Air movie represents. And I just thank Affleck and Damon for bringing a great cast of movies every time they do it, man, from Gil Will Honey to everything. So they just don't miss, and they know what to bring to the screen at the right time in all of our lives. So I thank Affleck for all his directorial debuts. And this was a great one, man. This was a great one. But yeah, I've been a movie watching motherfucker, man. John Wick 4, got Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among the Thieves, the Super Mario, and of course the Air movie. So make sure you guys get out and see those. I've been watching a lot of good movies on Netflix, Amazon, all that too. Finally watched Arrival. I'm gonna talk about that in a few weeks because I'm still kind of processing that movie. It was just crazy movie. So yeah, make sure you guys tune in with me. Follow me on my Instagram at Third Eye Review. Follow the Facebook group at Third Eye Review Movie Reviews and Talks. Talk some movies, send me movies to watch, shows to watch, and it's that time I'm sitting down and kicking it in, man. It's the time I love. So make sure you tune into the barn, and it's just Third Eye Review, baby. Your host Swerve. I'm out.